Well, good afternoon and happy Friday to everyone, and welcome back to our Midwest Building Decarbonization Coalition Meet Our Board podcast series. I am Marnese Jackson, and I am the Executive Director of the Midwest Building Decarbonization Coalition. Our mission is to decarbonize the Midwestern building sector by 2050, and our focus states are Indiana, Iowa, Illinois, Missouri, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Michigan, and Iowa. And Ohio. And we're going to get into why Midwest BD was founded in the first place. And we are here to emphasize the HMS principles for democratic organizing. So organizing from the bottom up. We do embody the climate justice and environmental justice principles. And our work is centered around people who have been impacted by energy burden and environmental racism. And so today joining us is one of our board members, LesLee Jackson from Minnesota. And LesLee is here to talk about her experience as a board member. But we're doing this because we wanted to highlight their different backgrounds and the work that they're doing. We wanted to share their stories and what drew them to get involved with Midwest Building Decarbonization Coalition and what it's like to be a board member. So LesLee Jackson is awesome. And LesLee is a master's student at the Metro State University in Minnesota, studying political and advocacy leadership. She is a member of the Minneapolis Northside Green Zone Task Force and sits on the CEAC Commissioner Minneapolis Community Environmental Advisory Commission. These groups are active in lobbying against environmental injustices and policy changes. She is also a member of the Advocacy, Political Leadership, and Service Student Organization, and the MAPL Student Representative for Cohort 35. LesLee is also a Black and Indigenous woman. Her experience with injustice is exhausting. LesLee is passionate and representing her communities in a field that remains inaccessible to people of color. As a native of Minnesota, the city, state, and people are very close to her heart. So welcome, LesLee, and welcome to the podcast. I wanted to know, how did you get involved with Midwest Building Decarbonization Coalition?
Well, I'm I guess, alumni of the EJCC of Minneapolis, and that's a Black organization environmental justice group. And Marnese came to Minneapolis. Thank you for coming, Marnese. I'm so grateful. And did a presentation and sparked my interest. As an environmental scientist, this work was very important to me for my community to not be left behind as a part of the work that I'm doing. So because of that, I was interested and became a member, and then from there, a board member. So thank you for this opportunity to be able to bring this work to Minneapolis and to be active in my community to make even more of an impact and a change.
So looking at all your experience, right? Why did you want to become a board member?
Well, the fun part is to be able to meet with people across the Midwest, as well as continue to recruit and learn the importance of keeping the function of a group together, and to hopefully bring in some funding to our communities so we can be involved in the new changes. So being a board member is a very important position, not just with the Midwest Building Decarbonization, but any organization. And you'll be able to utilize your leadership skills and what you learned inside our communities, we'd be able to implement in our board to make changes so all can benefit, not just our cities, but the members in the coalition and organization, and to give them support and any kind of way, and have an open door policy that they can feel free to come in and talk to us and
Mhm.
support our executive director in her decisions and help her to grow and be the best she can be while she helps us be the best we can be too. So it's a great relationship. It's a great business relationship, is working relationship to have in this position, to work with an excellent group of people across the country.
So my question is like, what is something people may not know about how boards contribute to an organization?
Oh, wow. So it's a lot besides the recruitment and
Mhm.
fundraising and making sure that, well, I'd say just to find out what the board can do to help the organization and their vision. And
Mhm.
so helping support, as I said, the executive director and her decisions, and give her resources as well as the organization itself, so we can continue to grow. And recruitment is
Mhm.
very important to have people and hands on everybody's hands. It doesn't matter, even though this is basically a organization of color. And when we say people of color, that means everybody, because we need everybody to do this work and to work together and to collaborate together, so we can have a better tomorrow for our country.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that collaboration and bringing resources and fundraising. A lot of people don't know that that's the function of boards, so we can keep having a good financial standing, right? So, how can people get involved on boards of organizations that they care about? Like, what would be the process for them?
Well, first, what they want to do is have that passion and know what they want to do before they get involved. Do a background on the organization for your choice of topics that you're passionate about, and then sit in a couple of meetings and see if that's the organization you want to represent. And if there is any openings, show interest, apply, and be involved. It takes, you have to be involved and want to have that passion and community to
Hmm.
want to be on the board. And it's a big responsibility, and it changed my life for the better.
Hmm.
And I'm learning more about me being in this position and leadership, and it helps you grow so as a human being. And it's just a marvelous feeling. So I'm saying, just to do the research, know your passion, and to get involved, sit in the meetings, and then decide if you want to be on that board and do the work. Because it seems like it's hard, but it's not once you get started, and there's other members that will help you and guide you. And you can always use Google. That's your best friend too.
I totally agree. I totally agree. So, with you being passionate about environmental and climate justice, and working with an organization that's focused primarily on indoor air quality, what do you wish people knew about energy and climate justice that they don't really, people are not really talking about?
Well, the main thing is the pollution that drives the changes that people are seeing now and hearing about: climate change and go green and energy efficiency. And that's to cut the emissions down. But it's a bigger circle, and it's all interconnected. So I'm an environmental scientist, and my focus is clean air, water, and soil, and cutting the waste and the pollution in our environment. But that has a play with our environmental climate and the weather, as people may not know that the oceans play a big role in that, and the pollutions and emissions and play a bigger role for cutting our greenhouse gases.
Hmm.
So it's kind of complicated, and a lot of people depend on thinking the government's going to fix it, but it
Hmm.
takes us to realize, and it does take the government to be able to help to give the resources so we can educate our communities so they are aware of the changes and not be grumpy and think it's just a conspiracy or it's a lie when we're living and seeing what's happening in our environment every day with the changes, the loss of snow that
Mhm.
happens when back in well, who was that? Al Gore talked about the oceans and the polar bears and the icebergs. That's real, and now here it is. And
Mhm.
so we have to, as us as stewards, we are here as stewards, have to open our hearts and have a change of mind and be open to the information that's out there because it's important that we're all aboard. And I got involved because of the changes that is happening and the realization that curbing the pollution helps curb the emissions, which help the energy, which is a whole inner, it's all interconnected. And
Mhm.
I can go on and on and on, and I can get long-winded because of my passion. But what I want to say is come and join us at the Midwest Building Decarbonization to learn more about what we do. And it's just not doing that work, but it does take the policy changes to be implemented to help us with the work and learning that. And if anybody has that wisdom and knowledge, oh my God, please come and join us. It's just a realm of knowledge and a bunch of nerds and geeks, and it's a great place to be in. So yeah, just I can go on and on. Especially about the Midwest and the work that we're doing for our communities and the collaboration within the states and the help that we want to give our communities, not leaving a person behind at all.
Thank you so much, Leslie. And I love the fact that you lifted up that it's all interconnected. And a lot of people just don't see how all of this is really the environmental and climate justice is all impacting us. Our from air quality to our ecosystems with animals, our food quality, and all of that. So, what are some projects that you're working on that you're excited about?
Well, I'm learning contemporary policy in class right now.
Okay.
And so I'm learning how to write different memos, but I'm going into a deep dive of, it's funny, fi- um, marriage, families, and work.
Hmm.
Last semester, I got into housing and how the history was in the realm of housing. So learning these different policies and learning how it affects us is very important to be able to be on the front lines of the changings when it comes to our environment with the electrification. So, right, I want to do my policy on um, electrification right now, but the teacher had it signed in the choices she wanted. She didn't give us a other, but yeah. But it's a great opportunity. Also, I've been a liaison for a big organization here in Minneapolis. The Urban League now decides to go green, and so I've been doing a introduction into my nerds across Minnesota at different events and in introducing the Urban League to the green spaces. So the next on the stop will be Midwest Building Decarbonization while they get comfortable learning about the other entities that we have going on in the city because it's important to keep everybody informed. And the Urban League, as everyone knows, is one of the most historical places that civil rights for our communities and the injustices that we had faced in the Black community. So bringing them in this space would be nothing but an honor. But I'm giving him baby steps because he didn't know about trees and air. He just and water. Just thought you turn on the faucet and there it is, and all the little interconnections with that. So yeah, it's one on one with them. But it's a good thing. It's a good space to be in to be able to share what I learned with other
Hmm.
people so they're more prepared for the upcoming events that are happening in our
Hmm.
environment.
Yeah, Yeah, you have to take baby steps. A lot of this information can go over a lot of people's heads and it can be very overwhelming, especially when we start talking about the science based stuff that we learned in chemistry class, right? Like, everybody, some people just don't even remember the periodic table. So, and all that type of stuff, the CO2 emissions. So which I find valuable now since I'm in this field. So outside of doing all this work and going to school, LesLee, so because it sounds like you're a very busy person, what are some of the stuff that you like doing and enjoying outside of work? What do you spend time doing?
See, I'm a geek. I do a bunch of research. So I have like 15 pages on on my laptop, 10 on my computer, and then I have papers and books. So I just go into research to find out what they're doing across the world, not
Mm-hmm.
just in Minnesota, in Europe, and the different things and elements that they're doing, making the changes with electrification and the decarbonization. I will say this one thing that I really enjoy about the Midwest Building Decarbonization Organization is that we give one-on-one classes about electrification, one-on-one classes about the different things that are happening.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I'm encouraging people to come in and join some of those one-on-one to really learn about electrification and decarbonization and some of the federal policies. So we're open, and that's what I just love about it. We have 101 and 102. I'm looking for 103 to happen, but you know, yeah, we have different elements for people to learn, and
Mm-hmm.
work, the workshops and the tools and information and resources that you can find on our website. So those things are very educational for our communities to learn if you want to learn more, and I really promote
So
that.
thanks so much. I think Maggie will appreciate that you're plugging our resources and things. That's an awesome thing that board members can do. Promoting the organization outside of the meeting. So I definitely appreciate you doing that. We do have a lot of resources and a lot of trainings that are free, and our membership is free.
Yes, and you can eat your snacks at home and enjoy yourself and take your time to do the learning, and that's the great thing about it.
Right. Like yeah. So, and we're passionate about the work. So, I really wanted to thank you so much for having this conversation today. We're going to keep these uh, board member podcasts coming. So I'll see you, LesLee, in the next meeting. And thanks so much for all the hard work and dedication that you have contributed to Midwest Building Decarbonization Coalition. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me a part of this organization. It's it's just an honor to
Mhm.
be able to work with you and this group, and to be able to bring others into this space. And it's just an honor, and I'm looking forward to new members to come in and to bring their wisdom and knowledge. And even if you don't know, come and learn and bring your friends. And so I'm
Mhm.
just looking forward the next year and the summer to do more work and research. And I'm just happy to be here today. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you. And so we do have some events coming up in June. We just had our IRA session training. We'll be having our train the trainer training. TTTT, hosted by Midwest BD staff. That's just pretty much you go out there and be a speaker ambassador for Midwest BDC. You get trained, you get a nice, pretty certificate that we'll send to you, and you can go talk about
Woohoo!
Midwest BDC, woohoo, and all the awesome stuff that we're doing because we want to make sure that we're delivering the message of the coalition. So you can put that on your resume, you can hang it up. Hey, I am certified to go talk about all this awesome stuff that we're doing here. We do have our equity summit that is coming up in July. It's virtual. You can check that out on our website, and that's free, and it's also virtual. So we have a lot of different speakers that is in the lineup. So come check us out. It's about the sustainability renaissance of the work that we're doing in building decarbonization. So we thank you so much for being here, LesLee, and I'll go ahead and see you in the next meeting, Zoom meeting, and
Yes,
hopefully in person soon as I
that'd be
travel.
it.
So
So
thank you.
yes, come and join us and have some fun in the summer, and be a part of the Midwest Building Decarbonization.
All right. Have a happy Friday and be
You
safe.
too. Bye.